Jai Shri Radhe. Sab Vaishnavan ko sanamra saprem. Or Sadar Jai Shri Krishna. Continuing the Varta of the 252 Vaishnava disciples of Sri Gosaiji, today is day 142, Varta 123, the story of Aaskaran, the king of Narar. Bhav Prakash. He is a devotee of Rajasi disposition. In the eternal Leela, his name is Bikala, who is a companion of Sri Dam Sakha. Bikala manifests from Nagari and is thus a form of her divine loving sentiment. Part 1. King Aaskaran's greatest attachment was to classical music. Artists from all over the world came to his court. The king would greet all of them with respect and would give them provisions for them as long as they stayed there. He also sent them off very generously. There were always at least 200 to 400 musicians with the king at any one time. One day Tansen heard someone praising Aaskaran. He thought to himself, "Let me go and see how clever he really is." He went to the court of King Aaskaran. It was afternoon. The king was sitting in his throne room. 10 to 20 great singers were singing in the Sarang Rag. It was the very hot month of Jesht. Aaskaran was immensely pleased to see Tansen and offered him a seat next to him. He said, "Oh Tansen, you have come at a good time. Please sing a composition in Sarang Rag." Tansen took up one of Govind Swami's poems, Pada Rag Sarang, poet Govinda Swami. Youthful Krishna is sitting together with his beloved, their every limb brimming with love. I surrender and over again to his beauteous form, crooked in 3 places, that Krishna, the joy of the gopis. Their gait is graceful, they laugh and play. They are both full of joy. Her blouse is crumpled, the fragrance of flowers fills the air, and the blooms look like the moon of an autumnal night. In the fresh forest bower the bees are buzzing, and a gathering of nightingales sing softly. The breeze, cool and fragrant and soft, is most pleasant. The poet Govinda now sings, "What a lovely couple, the fresh youth and the sweet young maiden. Their beauty defeats Cupid's whole army. This handsome dandy is the crown jewel of the whole of Vraja." Hearing this, Aaskaran swooned. He didn't come round for a couple of hours. Aaskaran told him that he had never heard such a composition up to that very day. He said, "Thousands of artists flock here, but I have never heard such a song in praise of the Lord. It has made the kingship of all the 3 worlds seem worthless. Even my kingship seems petty. Please then, Tansen, accept as a gift my crown." Land, queen, and treasury. Tansen, "Do whatever you want with it." Tansen replied, "I do not want anything of your kingdom. I came here just to see you, and to see what you understand about singing. I have heard much praise about you. The praise is warranted. I have seen this, and I wish for nothing more. I will leave now." Hearing this, Aaskaran asked Tansen to sit down for a bit. He inquired of him, "Did you compose this song yourself, or is it another's composition?" Tansen replied, "O king, I could not compose such lines even in 1,000,000 lifetimes. In Gokul there is one Sri Gosaiji, Sri Vitanaji, and he is the Lord himself. His very close disciple is Govind Swami. He sung it. He speaks to and plays with Lord Krishna himself. He is a very accomplished Vaishnava. Through his grace I was able to sing this." Aaskaran asked Tansen to tell him how he could get to meet Govind Swami. Tansen told him that Govind Swami only ever associated with those who were Sri Gosaiji's disciples. I became his disciple, and then he gave Govind Swami permission to instruct me. Aaskaran said, "I wish to become his disciple." Tansen said, "Okay," and Aaskaran requested Tansen to come accompany with him. "You come with me and ask Sri Gosaiji to initiate me." Tansen stayed with Aaskaran. The king got rid of all the other singers, saying, "None of your songs has any meaning to me." They all stood up and left. There were also some saintly singers from Vrindavan, but he sent them all away too. He said, "Your compositions mean nothing to me." They all departed. Aaskaran prepared to go to Gokul. Then they set off from Narar. He sent some of his men running ahead to find out whether Sri Gosaiji was in Gokul or in Govardhan, so that they would know where to go. Sri Gosaiji was in Gokul. Aaskaran went there together with Tansen. Sri Gosaiji was performing the Rajbhog Arti of Sri Navaneet Priyaji. Aaskaran was overjoyed to have his holy sight. Govindas Swami was there, and he was singing this bud in Rag Saranga. Sri Vallabh's son's form is incomparable and flouts description. Aaskaran felt very happy to hear these words. Tansen whispered in his ear that this was Govind Swami singing, but that he should not speak to him at that moment. When the services took a break for the afternoon, Aaskaran and Tansen went to Sri Gosaji's Baitak and sat down. When Sri Gosaji had settled Sri Navneet Priyaji down for his afternoon rest, he came and sat in the Baitak too. Aaskaran and Tansen prostrated before him, and then Tansen piped up, "O Maharaj, King Aaskaran has come here with the request to be initiated with the Lord's name." Then Aaskaran prostrated again before Sri Gosaji and said, "O Maharaj, from my very birth, I have been engaged in sinful activities. I have never done anything worthwhile. It is stated in the Shastras that kings always descend to hellish regions after death. Knowing this, I am fearful, and now I have come to take shelter in you. Knowing me to be humble, please accept me. I have always been proud of my kingship, and I have therefore never performed any spiritual practices. Please protect me." Hearing his plea, Sri Gosaji felt compassionate towards him and told him, "O Aaskaran, do not worry. The Lord is great and will do what is best for you. Please be patient and strong. Please go and take a bath in the Sri Yamunaji river." Aaskaran happily went to Sri Yamunaji to bathe. He came back in the required state of purity, aparas. Sri Gosaji initiated him with the Lord's name. Aaskaran's mind and heart were purified thereby, and he further requested to receive the Brahmasambandh initiation. Sri Gosaji advised him to fast for the rest of the day. He said, "You have been engaged in kingly activities for a long time. I shall give you the Brahmasambandh initiation tomorrow." Aaskaran paid his respects and fasted. The next day after lunchtime services, Sri Gosaji initiated him in front of Sri Navneet Priyaji, and when Aaskaran offered tulsi leaves at the Lord's lotus feet, he experienced the vision of the Lord and his pastimes. Aaskaran then sang this song in Rag Sarang. Pad Rag Saranga, poet Aaskaran. Long live Shri Vithalnath, most merciful. I was the fallen in this age of Kali, a storehouse of sin. I was the most fallen in this age of Kali, a storehouse of sin, but now he has made me his own and uplifted me. He has captured the Supreme Lord in his hand and given him to me. Such is his generosity. The poet Aaskaran now sings, "He accepted me as his own, thus keeping his promise to reveal Shri Krishna, the grace-filled beloved of this path." Sri Gosaji was overjoyed to hear this song. After completing the lunchtime services and arti, Sri Gosaji came to sit in his Baitak. Tansen spoke up, "O Maharaj, Aaskaran has taken shelter in the Lord after hearing just one song from Sri Govind Swami." Sri Gosaji replied, "Yes, Govind Swami is such an influential and accomplished Vaishnava. Whosoever hears just one of his compositions will certainly be uplifted." Then Aaskaran piped up, "O Maharaj, Govind Swami thinks of me as a king and therefore will not speak to me. Please ask him to teach me how to sing." Sri Gosaji called Govind Swami to him and said, "Please teach Aaskaran something. He is not afflicted by kingly pride. He is a Vaishnava now. He has taken shelter in the Lord by hearing but one of your compositions. He loves to hear your kirtans. Please tell him whatever he asks you." Govind Swami replied, "O Maharaj, when you wish to accept a soul into your fold, then you do always find some way of doing so. There is no need to take my name." Bhav Prakash, the purpose of his words was, "I am but your servant, and all power lies in you alone." We will pause at this point and continue with part 1 tomorrow. आज के आनंद की जय हो, सब वैष्णवों को जय श्री कृष्ण, जय जय श्री राधे।